So guys, welcome back to another module of Kaizen Cure. Now, today I want to talk to you about the only variable to your success. Now, look, if you're anything like me, and the fact that you're in this course pretty much tells me that you are, well, then you're constantly trying to push the limits and boundaries of what's possible. And more than likely, you're very hard on yourself, and no matter how hard or smart you work, you still feel like there could have been more that could have been accomplished. Now, although this brings success, because you're someone who hustles and grinds and optimizes and you're productive and this and that, it brings success. Inevitable, because you're banging your head against the wall for so long and so repetitively that of course something's gonna work. But at the end of this process you feel jaded. And that's a pretty shitty feeling to have. Now, for a long time it was like this. For a long time for me, I sympathize with that. Everything within this course is literally just past experiences that I've had, pain that I've gone through, struggles that I've gone through, just relayed back to you. So for the longest time I went through this, right? And I'm like, shit, I'm working hard, I'm hustling, I'm working smart, and things still aren't moving as quickly as I'd like them to, and I have no idea why that is. So as I said, for a long time it was like this for me. Now, the thing is, you are at point A and you're trying to get to point B, and that distance in between is time. Now, what we are trying to accomplish is we're actually trying to bend time. You see this point here and point B. Let's say this space in between takes, let's say point A is, version or where you are right now, and then point B is having made $15 million in profit. And this time in between is 10 years. What we are trying to do is we're trying to bend time so the distance from point A to B is shorter. So, we're going more like this. And, say another good businessman, like it takes him 10 years to make $10 million in profit. We're trying to do it in fucking 3. So we're really trying to bend time here. Now, a couple variables that you can use to bend time in your favor. Well, first of all, there's working hard. Everyone says that you got to work hard, you got to hustle, you got to grind, you got to put the hours in. If someone else is working 6 hours properly and you're working 12 hours, well, then you're going to kill them, etc., etc. Then there's working smart, which is going, okay, cool, someone else worked 16 hours, or say, cool, someone else worked 12 hours. I only worked 6 hours, but in my 6 hours, I got way more done than they got done. Now, the next thing is invest in guidance, and that's another set of people or another combination that you can go, okay, cool, you guys, one of you guys worked 12 hours, one of you guys worked 6 hours, but worked smart. I think both of those are cool, but you know what's even cooler? You guys are going to try and look around with no map. You guys are trying to find a spot in a large city with no map, and I have the map. So it doesn't matter how hard you guys work, how smart you guys work, I will reach the destination quicker because I have the map. I have the roadmap. So these are 3 different philosophies, and guys, all 3 of these are amazing, and you should be utilizing all 3 of these. There's not one of these that shouldn't be shouldn't be used in your arsenal. So as I said, if we run through working hard, this is pretty much the one that everyone focuses on first, puts the most emphasis on. And, working hard, this will really light a fire under your ass and give you the self-confidence to go out and achieve incredible things. I really think confidence, I think it's, Ed Milet who says it, and also one of my mentors, Craig Ballantyne. They say confidence is really just keeping promises to yourself. Like, you say you're going to go to the gym and you go to the gym. You say you're going to wake up at 5, you wake up at 5. You say you're going to do this and you do that, So that is really what self-confidence is. And when you work hard, you build that self-confidence. But the issue is this isn't sustainable or a good way to live life. Like, I don't know about you guys. Like, some of you guys watching this, you will genuinely want to work 16 hours a day, 6 days, or 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for the rest of your life. And you guys love that and enjoy that, But I also know a lot of you guys, you want to spend a bit more time with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or you want to travel a bit more. You want to, enjoy yourself a bit more. So just solely relying on hard work, that's not really a good way to live life. So As I said, most people I meet work harder than me, but will never come close to my financial standing. Now, to kind of put this into perspective, why is it that someone who even a waiter probably works harder than me, or even a barista works harder than me, for 6-8 hours, that person has to be on their feet making coffees, staying concentrated. I mean, it's very menial tasks, but like they have to just do the simple shit again and again. There's no space for creativity or anything like that. So I would generally say they work harder than me. But why is it that I earn in a month what they earn in a year, or probably double what they earn in a year? And by the end of this year, probably 10 times I'll probably earn 10 times in a month what they earn in a year. Why is it that happens? It's because, hard work isn't the only, it's something you should have in your arsenal, but really, like, if you think you just have to work harder, just go look at the people around you. It's really not about that. And then we kind of move on to the next paradigm, which, as I said, is working smart. So after people work and they burn out, they start to realize that the next best solution is working smart. So, most of the time you should be able to do your current workload in 50% of the amount of time by just focusing on the right things. The 80-20 principle, most of us are just focused on the wrong, stupid shit. And I know that's the case for me too. So you need to see if you can automate, then delegate. So whenever I have a task, I go, okay, can a machine do this? So say selling, for example, my online programs, rather than having a salesperson, rather than me having to sell it or a salesperson having to sell it, can I create a webinar funnel so it sells automatically, passively in the background? And if it does, great. That is me automizing it with a machine. Then I go, okay, if I can't automate this with a machine, say for example, some of the stuff that my executive assistant does, if that can't be automated with a machine, like to give you a perfect example, I have a chatbot. A chatbot has now completely automated through machine processes that which I had to use to do manually, or my executive assistant had to do manually. So that's automated, okay? If I can't automate, then I delegate, which is a lot of what my executive assistant does. So the other thing with working smart is it's having a holistic approach to business. It's what you're doing right here, which is, a lot of entrepreneurs, they just bang their head against the wall. They just work hard and hustle and blah, blah, but they're not really working with purpose. They're doing $10 an hour tasks still. And they just think everything is about business. They don't realize the holistic approach that goes into having a wildly profitable business. So then people kind of move into the next paradigm, which is investing in guidance. And as I said, investing in guidance is one of the best decisions I made after an early mentor told me, just buy success, dude. Like it's not that hard. Just go find someone who's successful, go find someone who has a roadmap, and just buy the freaking roadmap off them. And that's what I did. So, learning from someone who's already done it is much better than trying to figure it all out yourself. Now, of the three, I think this is definitely the easiest to implement. It takes a bit of time to develop your work ethic, to work harder, and it takes a lot of discipline and willpower to be someone who works smart and efficiently. So investing in guidance is just one of the easiest things you can do and implement straight away. Now, after maxing out all three of these at different points in my life, there was a point in my life where I was just a freaking workhorse. There was a part of my life where everything was so systemized and automized and delegated and it was crazy. And then there was points in my life where I'm spending 20, 30 grand, just 2 months ago, I spent 20 grand in self-education in a month, so I'm pumping a lot of money in there. So I've had points where I've maxed out all three of these. And even when I max out all three of these, I'm still going like, dude, like things aren't happening quick enough. And that is when we get brought to the most important variable to your success, which is time. And I know this is a huge letdown for you guys, but guys, seriously, time is the ultimate variable to your success. It is the only thing between you and your huge aspirations. So the crazy thing is I spent years beating myself up and not in a resourceful state because I didn't understand that time was the only thing holding me back. So you can push these three variables to the max, and I recommend that you do, but always remember time. Guys, if you continue on the path that you're on right now, you continue to work hard, work smart, and invest in yourself, the only thing holding you back is time. Remember what I told you. This is the timeline from where you are now to where you want to get to. And say this time, the place you want to get to, say it takes 10 years. We can bend this arc. We can bend this arc and make this maybe 8 years or 7 years by working harder, and then we can bend it some more and make it only 5, 6 years by working hard and smart, and then bend it to 3 by working smart, hard, and investing in ourselves. But the point is, there's still this arc. There's still one underlying variable, which is time. And guys, I think one of the most important things I can do with this course is just give you permission. Just give you permission from, as I said, me standing on the shoulders of incredible mentors and me going through the process myself, like me just giving you permission to go, look, it's fine. Like, you're working hard, you're working smart, you're investing in yourself. Those are really the only, look, there are a bunch of different variables at play, but like, those are the 3 main variables. Like, if you're doing that, just remember, time is the only thing against you. Except it's not really against you, it's in your favor. It's just something you have to be patient with. So, guys, as I said, that's really the only variable to your success. And, I wish it was something way more glamorous, but that is what it is. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Video. I hope I've given you permission to just continue on the path that you're continuing. Use those 3 variables to bend time. But then, if things aren't moving at, 100 miles an hour, just understand it's time. Okay? So, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next module.